Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the book, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
heard of this one?
I have. It's a good one.
Yeah, it looks really fascinating. It's all about like finding that spark of courage, in
Hmm.
everyday life using this simple countdown technique.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how she kind of connects something as simple as a countdown to something as powerful as like a rocket launch.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Like, how can counting backwards from 5 actually help us be more courageous?
Well, it's not like magic or anything like that, but it really does tap into some powerful neurological processes.
Okay.
So Robbins really compares it to a rocket launch because it's about breaking free from that inertia,
Oh.
that feeling of being stuck that often keeps us from taking action.
Oh, so it's like a mental countdown to blast off towards our goals?
Exactly. Yeah, and she backs it up with personal anecdotes and scientific research.
Oh.
For example, she talks about how watching a rocket launch on TV inspired her to create this technique
Oh, wow.
during a really difficult time in her life.
She was struggling with like anxiety and feeling overwhelmed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that fish in water analogy she uses. Like,
Yeah,
we're so surrounded by our own problems and fears that we don't even see them.
that's a great connection. Robbins actually uses that analogy from a commencement speech by David Foster Wallace
Oh, wow.
to illustrate how we often fail to recognize the most important things in our lives, like courage.
Because they're so familiar to us?
Exactly. We're swimming in it, but we don't even see it.
Right, so the 5-second rule is about bringing that hidden resource to the surface.
Precisely.
Huh.
It's about interrupting those automatic negative thoughts and triggering action before hesitation can take over. That countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like a mental reset button.
Okay, so how does this work in our brains?
Yeah.
Is there any actual science behind this, or is it just like a motivational trick?
No, there's actually some interesting neurological principles at play here.
Okay.
When we count down from 5, we activate our prefrontal cortex.
Oh, that's the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and planning, right?
Yeah.
I remember learning about that in a psychology class years ago.
And at the same time, the countdown interrupts what's called the habit loop in the basal ganglia.
Habit loop.
Yeah.
Could you break that down a little bit more for me?
Sure.
I'm not sure I fully grasp that concept.
So think of it as a 3-part cycle.
Mm.
Cue, routine, reward.
Okay.
So for example, the cue might be feeling stressed.
Okay.
The routine is scrolling through social media.
Uh-huh.
And the reward is a temporary distraction from that stress.
Yeah.
But this loop can also keep us stuck in these negative patterns like procrastination.
Oh, so the 5-second rule is like a way to hack that cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By interrupting the automatic response, the countdown gives us a window to make a conscious choice.
So we're basically giving our brains a jump start towards action instead of getting stuck in those habitual patterns. Right. And Robbins argues that this can help us build real confidence, right?
Yeah, that's a key takeaway from the book.
Oh.
She differentiates between real confidence, which comes from taking action,
Okay.
and then the kind of surface level confidence that's often based on personality or external validation.
So it's not about feeling confident before you act.
Right.
It's about acting and then feeling the confidence grow from that experience.
Precisely. She emphasizes that these small acts of courage,
Yeah.
like speaking up in a meeting or introducing yourself to someone new, can have a cumulative effect,
Okay.
building our confidence over time.
So it's like building a muscle.
Exactly.
The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Ah.
And these small wins can have a ripple effect, creating positive momentum in other areas of our lives.
But we often let procrastination get in the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'll admit I'm a champion procrastinator. But I was intrigued by Robbins' distinction between destructive and productive procrastination.
Right.
Isn't all procrastination bad?
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
While destructive procrastination leads to stress and missed deadlines,
Right.
there's a type of procrastination that can actually be beneficial, especially for creative endeavors.
Productive procrastination.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, think about those times when you're working on a project
Okay.
and you decide to step away for a bit.
Oh.
Maybe take a walk or do something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
This can actually allow your subconscious mind to work on the problem,
Oh.
leading to unexpected insights or breakthroughs when you return to it.
So it's like giving your brain some space to breathe
Exactly.
and make those creative connections.
Yeah. But when it comes to tasks that require immediate action,
Right.
The 5-second rule can be a really effective antidote to that destructive procrastination. It helps us break that cycle of overthinking and delaying.
So it's about recognizing those moments when we're letting fear or hesitation hold us back, and then using the countdown to push ourselves forward.
Exactly.
But what about the role of feelings in all of this? Yeah.
How can we manage those strong emotions that often sabotage our best intentions?
That's a crucial aspect of the 5-second rule.
Okay.
Robbins draws on the work of Dr. Antonio Damasio, who studied the connection between feelings and decision-making.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. I want to know more about this.
Yeah, so Damasio's research shows that our gut feelings are essentially a rapid subconscious assessment of pros and cons.
Okay.
But when we hesitate, we give those feelings too much power,
Right.
allowing them to dictate our actions or inaction, as the case may be.
So it's like our feelings are hijacking our best intentions.
Yeah.
We know what we should do, but those pesky emotions get in the way.
Exactly. The 5-second rule acts as a circuit breaker,
Okay.
helping us override those feelings and make decisions that align with our goals rather than our momentary emotions.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about taking back control from those knee-jerk reactions.
Right. Robbins also talks about the importance of not waiting for the perfect moment to act, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in our relationships.
Especially in our relationships. She tells a very powerful story about a conversation she had with her father
Oh, wow.
after he was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm.
Oh, gosh.
It really highlights the need to seize those moments of connection and not let fear or procrastination prevent us from having difficult conversations
Yeah.
or expressing our true feelings.
It's like that saying, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today.
Right.
But it's so easy to fall into that trap of waiting for the right time to do things.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to matters of the heart.
Especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Robbins argues that there rarely is a right time. We might be waiting forever for that perfect moment. And in the process, we miss out on valuable opportunities
Yeah.
to connect with the people who matter most.
She even shares a text message her father sent to their family, emphasizing the importance of expressing love and appreciation while we can. It's a powerful reminder that life is precious and unpredictable.
It is. And that brings us back to the idea that courage isn't some innate quality that some people have and others don't.
Okay.
It's a skill we can cultivate through practice.
Okay.
The 5-second rule provides a framework for that practice.
So it's like a mental workout routine for building our courage muscles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like any workout, it requires consistency and effort.
Right.
Robbins highlights examples of people who have used the 5-second rule to overcome incredible challenges, from losing weight to battling serious illnesses.
I was particularly moved by the story of Alice,
Oh yeah, Alice's story is incredible.
the young woman who was struggling with anxiety and agoraphobia. She used the 5-second rule to face her fears, open up to her parents about her struggles, and eventually changed her major
Wow.
to pursue her passion.
Alice's story is a testament to the power of taking those first small steps, even when they feel terrifying. The 5-second rule helped her break free from the grip of fear and create a life that felt authentic and fulfilling.
It's a reminder that we all have inner strength and resilience even when we can't see it.
Yes, we do.
Robbins also talks about the importance of recognizing and acting on those gut feelings or instincts, right?
Yes. She emphasizes that our instincts are often trying to guide us in the right direction.
Okay.
But we tend to second-guess ourselves or dismiss those feelings as irrational.
It's like we've been conditioned to overthink everything.
Right.
And ignore that inner voice.
Precisely. We've become disconnected from our intuition. But the 5-second rule helps us bridge that gap between instinct and action.
She uses the example of Steve Wozniak,
Oh, yeah.
the co-founder of Apple, who almost didn't quit his job to pursue his dream
Right.
because he was afraid. It was Steve Jobs, along with Wozniak's own friends and family, who encouraged him to take that leap of faith.
Wow.
Imagine if he'd let fear hold him back.
The world might be a very different place without Apple.
I know.
It's a great example of how sometimes we need that external support to help us overcome our own doubts.
Yeah.
But we can also learn to be that source of support for ourselves.
It's about believing in ourselves even when it feels hard. And sometimes it's about taking a break from those things that drain our energy and distract us from our goals.
Right.
Robbins has a whole section on the importance of morning routines, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She stresses that the first few hours of our day are crucial for setting the tone and creating positive momentum.
Okay.
She even recommends planning your quitting time.
Planning your quitting time.
Yes.
Now that's an idea I can get behind.
I know, right?
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and work late into the night.
It's about setting boundaries
Uh-huh.
and prioritizing those things that are important to you outside of work.
Right.
Whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply taking care of your well-being.
It's about creating a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. And sometimes that means saying no to things that don't align with our values or drain our energy.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with our time and energy.
Okay.
And the 5-second rule can be a helpful tool for making those choices.
It's like having a little voice in your head saying, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it. Do what feels right, even if it's scary.
Yes.
But Robbins also acknowledges that fear is a natural part of life, right?
Right.
It's not about eliminating fear altogether.
She points out that fear and excitement often feel very similar physiologically.
Oh.
It's our minds that label them differently.
So it's about reframing those feelings of nervousness as excitement,
Yes.
turning that anxious energy into something positive and motivating.
Precisely. She even shares a story about helping her own son overcome his fear of sleepovers by teaching him to reframe his anxiety as excitement. And it worked.
That's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try that with my kids.
Yeah, it's really effective.
She also talks about her own fear of flying and how she uses anchoring thoughts to manage her anxiety, right?
Yes. She explains that instead of letting her fear spiral out of control,
Mm-hmm.
she focuses on specific positive thoughts that ground her in the present moment, like the excitement of seeing her family at her destination.
So it's like intentionally shifting your focus to something that feels empowering rather than getting sucked into the vortex of fear.
Exactly.
It sounds like a form of mental jujitsu, using the power of positive thinking to redirect that nervous energy.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone can learn to do this?
Yeah.
Or does it take a certain personality type?
Robbins argues that it's a skill anyone can develop with practice.
Okay.
It's about becoming more aware of our thought patterns and learning to interrupt those negative spirals before they take hold.
So it's not about ignoring our fears,
Right.
but rather choosing how we respond to them.
Exactly.
I like that. It feels empowering.
It is empowering. It's about recognizing that we have more control over our thoughts and feelings than we often realize. And the 5-second rule can be a valuable tool for reclaiming that control.
This has been such an insightful conversation.
Yeah, it has.
I'm starting to see how this simple technique can be applied to so many different areas of life, from overcoming procrastination to building confidence to deepening our relationships.
It really is a versatile tool. And it speaks to that universal human desire to live more courageously,
Yeah.
to tap into our full potential.
It's like we all have this incredible power within us,
We do.
but we often let fear or self-doubt hold us back. The 5-second rule is like a key that unlocks that power, giving us permission to go for it, to pursue our dreams, to live a life that feels authentic and aligned with our values.
Beautifully said. It's about embracing those moments of uncertainty, knowing that even if we stumble, we can always pick ourselves up and use that countdown to get back on track.
This has given me a lot to think about. I'm definitely going to start incorporating the 5-second rule into my own life. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
Have you found this technique helpful in your own experiences?
Absolutely. I've used it to overcome my own procrastination,
Okay.
to speak up more confidently in meetings,
Yeah.
and even to navigate some challenging personal situations.
Wow.
It's become a bit of a mantra for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we don't have to wait for permission or the perfect moment to act. We have the power to choose differently to create the lives we want, one 5-second decision at a time.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 5-second rule, I would invite you to consider, what is one small act of courage you can commit to in the next 24 hours? What is one thing you've been putting off or hesitating to do that you can use the 5-second rule to tackle? Remember, even the smallest steps can lead to extraordinary transformations. The power to change your life is within you, waiting to be unleashed.
That's it for this deep dive into the 5-second rule. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Until next time, keep pushing those boundaries and remember, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.